I suspect that some of you are going to be surprised at the subject of this telecast.
The eye can see, a press of excited youngsters from all over the region are on hand for the return of Elvis Presley to Tupelo, Mississippi, the town where he was born.
Our story of Elvis starts and ends where he grew up, in Tupelo, Mississippi. We focus on his early years and get to know what really made him the unique artist that he became. We meet people who were there when he grew up, when he bought his first guitar, when his preacher and uncles taught him how to sing and play that guitar.
I had some uncles that picked the guitar a little bit, and I sat around and watched them all the time. And I just picked it up watching them, but I mean, I never thought I would make anything doing it, you know?
I showed him the first three chords. There were G and D and C. And C.
We'll meet the friends he played with, shared burgers and colas with, and shared his dreams of singing on the radio.
And Brother said, I tell you what, be up here next Saturday and I'm going to let you be on my program.
We meet the people who knew him and his family, kids that went to school with him and competed with him in singing contests.
I won first place in $25 Warbine, and Elvis won fifth place in $5.
We see he was no stranger to struggle and the hard life of a Depression-era child. His clothes were hand-me-downs, frayed, worn, and faded. His pants had been taken in so many times that the back pockets came together.
They just scratched pennies to get by. And a lot of times they didn't have money. Sometimes somebody'd give them some money to help them get on with life.
We find out his father went to the notorious Parchment Farm prison for forging a check.
What's really kind of pivotal about the Parchment era is that it really solidified the bond between mother and son. It would never be broken.
They moved to the historically black neighborhoods, and while there, Elvis discovered the blues and black gospel.
They used to have what they call a sanctified church, and they would put a tent out there. Man, he couldn't stay out of there. We had to go with him down there. He'd go in there and he'd be singing. He'd be singing in that tent.
The only way I remember Elvis Presley was a kid. Back across the track at that time, we had a little string band. Then he'd slip over there sometime, late, when they'd give those dances, and peep and watch some women's and men's both shaking and going on.
Yeah, he'd go down there and he'd listen, because they played some down hard blues down there at Shake Rack.
These experiences laid the foundation for the music he'd create that would change the world. Unfortunately, his family was never able to make a go of it in Tupelo. They lost their house and slinked out of town in the middle of the night, heading for Memphis, Tennessee.
Elvis would later say, we were broke, man, broke. And he and his mom and dad wound up living in a boarding house. The three of them shared one room, and all the residents had to use the sink in the bathroom for water to cook on.
The Memphis years gave Elvis the platform he needed to expand his horizons. He was drawn to the blues he heard on Beale Street and the gospel music at local churches. But a local DJ fanned his creative flames when he played R&B.
All of a sudden, one day, I just got a sudden urge to go in this recording studio, which was Mr. Sam Phillips' Memphis Recording Service. And he told me that he might call me sometime, you know.
And he called you?
So he called me. It was a year and a half later. I was an old man.
As Elvis is headed for stardom, he fans a storm of controversy. He's a white man singing like a black man.
Do away with this vulgar, animalistic rock and roll box.
His sexuality and his lower-class origins prompted cultural tastemakers to mock and dismiss him.
Well, if you wanted to get along with Elvis, you didn't mention the Steve Allen show.
It all culminates in an appearance and eventual coronation by the leading American broadcaster of the day, Ed Sullivan.
When you do the Ed Sullivan Show back then, that was as far as you could go. That was the height.
Imagine one kid from Tupelo gets on television and because of a performance shakes the soul of a society.
But one thing was missing: acceptance by his hometown. Our show ends on a note of triumph: the return of Elvis to Tupelo for a benefit homecoming concert where he received the key to the city and the screaming adulation of his fans. It's a timeless story about an American icon who not only changed the music world, but whose shaking and singing paved the way for a more tolerant America.